Hello and welcome to the Foot Geekz. My name is CJ and today we'll be talking about corns and redness on the top of toe joints. Okay, so you may be wondering why your toes are red when you take them out of the shoes. There may be a couple different reasons why that's happening. Number one, the shoe is too short, causing your toes to be crammed into the front of the footwear, and as a result the toes are being pushed upwards against the upper of the shoe, or potentially crammed against the edges and sides of the footwear as well. Number two, the shoe may be too shallow. Yeah, if your shoe is too shallow and you don't have enough space from top to bottom, your toes may be rubbing against the top of the footwear. Especially if you have already a tendency to have hammer toes or claw toes due to inappropriate footwear. So what are the solutions? Well, you can choose shoes that have more depth. So if your footwear has a little bit more depth from the top to the bottom, it will provide more space for your toes. Therefore there's more wiggle room, there's less likelihood of an irritation at the end of the day. You can also ensure that your shoes aren't too short. If you take the insole out of your shoes, you can usually check to see whether or not your toes are overlapping over the edges. If the toes are way too close to the end of the footwear, then you may have a shoe that's too short or potentially not wide enough. Especially if you're stepping onto the insole and your toes are overhanging, now you may have to look at potentially getting a longer and wider shoe to accommodate your foot better. And this is going to help reduce friction and rubbing on the top of your toes. If you must wear dress shoes for work, consider purchasing a pair of shoes that has potentially a strap, especially if you're wearing pumps that tend to have to be tighter on the foot. Having a strap across the top of your foot to help keep the heel in the back of the shoe will allow you to choose a shoe that has a little more space across the front, so therefore your toes are going to be freed up, they're going to have a little more room to wiggle, and they won't get irritated so much at the end of the day. If straps on your shoes are not an option and you have to wear pumps just for looks, consider having your current shoe stretched a little bit in the areas of pressure. Check out our ball and ring video to learn more about how to stretch your shoe if you need to have some additional space with a ball and ring stretcher. This is going to allow you to stretch your leather shoes in specific areas very significantly. If you do need more stretching, consider stopping by a shoe repair shop or potentially a store like ours where you can have your shoes stretched on a mechanical stretcher. If you have any questions or comments regarding red toes and corns, don't hesitate to leave those below the video. And if you haven't subscribed to us yet on YouTube and you find our information helpful, do so right over here. Have an excellent day.